Now, just imagine for a second, you say to yourself, I really wish I had a Mac Mini so I could do some really quick, cool stuff using Mac OS. Except, I don't actually have a Mac Mini. Well, maybe your problem just got solved. Hey everybody, Eric Wright here from the Disco Posse podcast and blogger at discoposse.com. Hope you're loving all of the cool stuff that we're doing both at the podcast and on the blog. Things are kicking up as we head into the tail end of 2020. And I wanted to have a real quick recap on something that was neat. In the AWS 2020 reInvent, there's a really cool set of announcements that are going to be flying out the door. So there's going to be an Andy Jassy keynote, which is 3 hours long. It's going to be like drinking from the announcement fire hose. But they couldn't have done it without having a bit of a fun leak. Typically, there's a Midnight Madness that goes on for reInvent. Midnight Madness is a really fun, focused on a lot of the technologists. It's a great place for people to get together, and it's a social beginning to the event, as well as a chance to leak out a bit of a teaser with a really cool announcement. And they certainly did not want to leave people light on that announcement. And so when they actually announced at the what was normally Midnight Madness, but was the pre-show, a little bit of a 1 hour teaser, we learned about Mac OS on EC2. Wow, that's really cool. Except it's better than just Mac OS. This isn't Mac OS on some kind of a funky, HCL where you may or may not get the kind of expected response and performance you'd want out of it. But this is very literally Mac OS running on a dedicated Mac Mini hardware in your own EC2 dedicated tenant. Hey, that's cool. All right, let's think about this. What's the use case? Well, the use case is simple if you think about it. In fact, the use case they talked about was an app team that actually does stuff for rendering and doing film work. So if you're doing video rendering or audio rendering or whatever you're doing that requires the kind of tie-ins between Mac OS, the software that's supported on Mac OS, and Mac physical hardware, but you don't want to go out and suddenly put 10 Mac Minis in your farm of hardware that's sitting in your closet or network cabinet. Maybe you just want to be able to spin that up and run it. So let's actually take a look at what it looks like real quick because let's prove that it actually happens. The beauty part about announcements with AWS is that when they make them, they literally show them right away. Well, let's check it out and see what it actually looks like. So if I go in and I say launch an instance, the cool thing about AWS is when they make announcements like this, they're generally available. And I mean literally generally available. So the moment that they talk about them on stage, you're seeing them launch in real time for the most part, which is really cool and super brave. You think about the scale they're working at. So we've got Mac OS Catalina and Mac OS Mojave. So really neat use case, right? What if I wanted to run more than one operating system? Say I've got some older software that only works in one particular OS. Now I'm able to not have to keep a dedicated machine around for that because I can actually spin one up on demand. So as a fan of using those kind of traditional legacy, maybe business continuity use cases, or just the fact that I need to be able to scale out around some hardware, have high throughput access to other things, the cool thing is when you take a look at what's the actual hardware, there it is, Mac One Metal. Yeah, that's right, it's metal, because you're actually running a dedicated Mac Mini instance that's only for you. And the neat thing is you've got all the CPU, you've got the memory, you've got EBS optimized. Of course, you've got high speed. It's all about that high speed throughput into the other services. So 25 gigabit network connection. Holy heck, that's super fast. There's all sorts of options you've got now. Because we're able to do this and use the on-demand capabilities, I could spin these up, try something out, tear it down. So that's it, right? You think, that's kind of a neat edge use case. But in fact, there's a ton of people that are doing this all the time. There's actually a lot of dedicated server environments and sort of virtual cloud hosting environments that run physical Mac Minis in order for people to run workloads that are Mac OS. So while it may seem like it's a bit of a light duty thing, imagine if you're a university, if you're a school, if you're even a high school or an elementary school, and they want to do some neat stuff and they want to muck around with macOS. They effectively could have a lot of backing hardware that gives them access to be able to do certain things. How's it going to get used as far as the front end? Hey, I'm actually just learning on the fly because they just announced it. So check it out. Follow me on Twitter, of course, and you can see we're going to be doing a ton of stuff around the announcements and recaps and blogs, etc. And hopefully I'll get some folks on the podcast. And I've got a ton of great podcasts that are coming out. Always got great guests. So thank you to all the folks that are listening, that are giving comments. So do hit the old subscribe button again, wherever that is at. Hit the bell icon. You'll get notified when new videos come up. Thanks very much. Have a great day, and I'll see you at the live keynote.